Hey everyone, I'm going to be showing you a digital manipulative that can be really helpful in the classroom and incorporating technology into your lesson. This is a website called Toy Theater, and they have all different kinds of activities that are really super simple, easy to navigate, and can be really fun and get your students feeling a little bit more creative in the lesson. So this one is about equivalent fractions. You have all the pieces of the pie here in an empty circle. So I would use this personally on a smartboard at the front of the class, or as like a math centers using computers. Students can hop on and create their combination of equivalent fractions using the pieces of the pie. So let's pretend that we're in a classroom and I'm at the smartboard and you guys are my students. I'm going to show you how I would demonstrate equivalent fractions using this tool. So hello class. Today we're going to be discussing equivalent fractions. We've had a bit of practice with this last week, talking about how fractions can look different, they can appear different when you're looking at just the numbers, but they can actually equal the same thing, the same amount. They have the same value, making them equivalent. So we're going to start off today with a little bit of a warm-up, practicing our equivalent fraction skills using this fun tool here. I'm going to put up a piece of the pie, and you are going to have to find out, what can I use out of these to fill the rest of this pie to make this fraction equivalent? We're going to work with half of the pie each time because we want them to be exactly the same, worth the same amount, have the same value. So starting with 1/2, how many eighths would I need? I'll give you about 10 seconds to think about that, and then we'll go ahead and do it. Finish up your last thought. Okay, count with me while we fill up the rest of the circle. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means 4/8 is equivalent to 1/2. These two fractions are equivalent. They have the same value. Let's do one more example. Let's make it a little bit more interesting. Let's say 2/4. Well, we can already tell that that's equivalent to 1/2. So let's not use 1/2. 1/4 is equivalent to how many eighths? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1/4 is equivalent to 4/8. So hopefully you're recognizing that pattern of how the numerator and denominator is just increasing a tiny bit each time. There's definite patterns to this, so any patterns you recognize, take note. So now I'm going to put up a fraction. 6/12. And I'm going to ask a volunteer to come up to the smartboard and fill in the rest of the pie and tell me what the equivalent fraction is. Please don't use 1/2 because we're always, every time, filling in 1/2 of the circle. 1/2 is equivalent to 6/12. That's an equivalent fraction. So who wants to come up and give me another example? And then at this point, we would have volunteers come up one by one and let them mix and match their own equivalent fractions.